backdated TV and welcome to Budapest. No, your eyes do not deceive you, this certainly isn't Budapest. And we're going to come back to that later, but for now, enjoy the rest of this B-roll section. So as I said, your eyes do not deceive you, this certainly isn't Budapest, and this is in fact my uni bedroom, so if there's any murmurs or background noise in this video, in these bits, I do apologise for that. So as the title of this video would suggest, I took this trip as part of my birthday present for my 21st birthday. Now my birthday was in and around the end of January, and I took this trip at the middle of February, during what is called Reading Week, which basically in university language is what me and you would kind of know as a half term. So I kind of knew the kind of schedule that I had coming back from that at the end of February, start of March, and I knew that I couldn't quite get this video turned around as quickly as I wanted to. And I never planned it being this late, but I did film some, I think, a few weeks ago and realised that all of the audio itself was corrupted. So I sat down today to film this different style, interlinking sections to my video, and I thought I would see this as a bit of a reflection on what I did in Budapest and some of the things that I would recommend saying about the city itself. So, context out of the way then. So Budapest is actually the capital of Hungary, which can be found on the banks of the Danube River in Central Europe. Now the river itself is actually quite important because it splits both sides of the city, Buda and Pest. Now we started our trip on the Sunday, and the clips that you've just seen are from the Monday. So we spent the Sunday just kind of exploring in and around the Chain Bridge area, which you'll see later on in this video, no doubt. And I didn't really take my camera with me, and we're just kind of getting our bearings in and around the city, although you might have just seen some shots or pictures of me on the bridge that were taken on that Sunday. So, as I say, we started properly filming in and around the Monday in the Buda area of the city, and more particular in the area of the Fisherman's Bastion, which has the Matthias Church in it and can be found in the Holy Trinity Square, which is one of the most popular areas, at least of Buda, but I would say Budapest itself, mainly because of the incredible views you get of Pest on the other side of the river, with the Hungarian Parliament standing out, as well as the Holy Church itself as well. And it is a popular tourist area, and if you go there, I would certainly recommend going and seeing that, even if it's just because there's a Starbucks around the corner, and those of you who know me know that I like a Starbucks from here on in. So what I would say is enjoy this next bit of B-roll as we go further on into Buda, and I will see you guys in a bit. As you've seen then, we continued exploring Buda on the Monday, and in and around the area of the castle, and then we took the Buda Hill Buda down towards the bottom of Buda and towards the Chain Bridge, which I spoke about previously. Budapest has got many bridges actually, and you'll see some more of those later on, but the Chain Bridge is certainly the most famous of them. and that, going over the bridge itself, takes you towards the banks of Budapest, and here is where you can find the Hungarian Parliament, but more fittingly, I think, the shoes on the banks of the Danube Memorial. Now, the memorial marks the Jews that were killed in Budapest during the Second World War by the fascist Arrow Cross militants, and it's just one of the reminders, actually, within Budapest of the effects of the war and what happened in Budapest as a city. But anyway, that pretty much marks the end of day one, or the Monday that we had in the city, and we pretty much then went back to the hotel and for a bite to eat, and then pretty much straight to bed because we had walked around about 8 miles. And then we pick up the action on day 2. So, as I said at the start of this video, I went to Budapest as one of my 21st birthday presents from my parents. And when I started to think about where I might want to have gone for this trip, Budapest always stood out to me for a lot of reasons, but one of the main ones being the thermal baths. Now, you would have seen images from one of the thermal baths, and I'm not going to try and pronounce the name because I will make a hash of it, but people that have been before will know that it's quite a famous one, and everyone that friends and family that had been and things like that had said, Luke, you've got to go and do the thermal baths because it's part of the Budapest experience, and I would certainly agree. And it was a bit pricey, the one that we went to, but it's one of those things where they kind of got you because you kind of just got to go and do it if you want to have that full Budapest experience, like we did really. So the baths themselves were not the original Roman ones because Budapest has a thermal spa history. It was what brought the Romans to the city in the Roman era. But these ones were around about 18th, 19th century and very famous, partly for their pool parties in the summer months in which a lot of students congregate on Budapest itself for foam-filled parties. Now, the baths themselves on the day that we were there were about 28 degrees on the outside temperature, obviously with the steam within the side probably more towards 40, which, given the fact that it was only 10 degrees outside, and that was mild for the time, was so lovely and so warm. And if my mum can get in those baths who hates swimming and hates all things water, there's no excuse for you guys to do that. The great thing also about those baths is their location to Hero Square, which is the big square that you see in B-roll with the large tower on top of it. Kind of think of it as a bit like Trafalgar Square in the sense that it's cultural and historical connections to the city and what honouring. From there you can also see Adresi Avenue, which is one of the most famous avenues in Budapest, especially in Budapest itself, and you can find the Opera House, lots of cafes and restaurants are down there, and a load of designer shops and designer watches and things like that. After spending some time in and around that part of Pest, we went back to the hotel and got changed to go for dinner, and then we went and did the boat experience, the river cruise at night, which is one of the things I knew that I wanted to do, because when you go to any city you want to kind of judge it both in the day and at night, because in a city like Budapest where the chain bridge itself is so iconic, to see it lit up just gives it that another level, which is incredible to see, and you get these incredible views from both sides of the river, as I'm sure you've seen in all of the many bridges that Budapest has in it. So that kind of marked the end of my time in Budapest itself, and that was a really nice way to end because you got to see it in a different light. You got champagne upon arrival, so who doesn't like that? So what would I kind of sum up my trip to Budapest as being like, really, I suppose? Well, it was brilliant. I loved every single minute of it, and Budapest itself as a city is such a brilliant, brilliant city, and I would urge anyone that hasn't been to go and check it out for yourself because it's a great, great experience. It's got food, it's got culture, it's got great beer, nice wines, everything you can kind of want. And although our trip might have not been the cheapest that you can do Budapest, I can certainly understand why a lot of students go there because you can, I think, do it cheaply if you're staying in cheap hotels, maybe hostels, and not necessarily eating in restaurants that we kind of were, but going to markets to get your food and things like that. I think you can certainly do Budapest and Hungary fairly cheaply. So that kind of marks the end of this video and the last of my trips at the moment because, as we all know, we're sat here in lockdown, have been now for 3 months, haven't been able to get out and explore. But don't fear, this is a great time still to subscribe to my channel and drop a like on the video, and all of that stuff is down below. And the reason for saying this is because I've actually got a load of banked up stuff from last year that I'm going to do a similar type of video on in a few weeks, in the coming month or so. And I think there's some really great content, some unseen things as well. So as I say, drop a subscribe on my channel, give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys hopefully somewhere else very soon in a COVID secure and safer environment. But for now, stay at home where you can, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Go.